Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Today I'm joined on stage by members of the Fresno District Attorney's Office, Jeff Dupras, Tulare County Sheriff's Office also present, Visalia Police Chief Salazar with me on stage, Jose Diaz, detective for the Fresno Sheriff's Office, and Jessica Brumley, daughter of one of our homicide victims. Homicide detectives with the Fresno County Sheriff's Office have arrested 33-year-old Buford King of Squaw Valley. Earlier today, King was in court where the Fresno County District Attorney's Office filed 3 counts of murder against him. His bail is currently set at $3 million. The arrest is a culmination of a 3-year-long investigation. King meets the criteria of a serial killer, which the FBI defines as someone who murders 2 or more people in separate events. King is an Army veteran who served in Iraq. He is accused of killing 35-year-old Aleksey Shelest, 62-year-old Donnie Lee, both of Squaw Valley, as well as 51-year-old Alberto Contreras of Visalia. King was an acquaintance of all 3 of these men. Alberto Contreras was last seen in January of 2011 and was reported missing to the Visalia Police Department in July of 2011. Aleksey Shelest was last heard from on May 18th, 2016, when he was in Squaw Valley. He was reported missing to the Fresno Sheriff's Office on May 29th of 2016. Donnie Lee was last seen November 1st, 2016, in the area of Squaw Valley Rd and Sand Creek Road in Squaw Valley. He was reported missing to the Sheriff's Office on November 22nd, 2016. Shelest and Lee's disappearances were later determined to be suspicious, so the Sheriff's homicide detectives took over both missing person cases in 2016. On August 20th, 2017, the Fresno Sheriff's Office received a report of a man who had been shot in the foot. Deputies responded and determined Buford King was responsible for the shooting that took place in the area of Squaw Valley Road and Sand Creek Road. The 2 men knew each other, and the victim was in the area doing construction work at the time he was shot. On Thursday, August 24th, the Fresno County Sheriff's Office SWAT team, Fresno Sheriff's Office homicide detectives, members of the Fresno Sheriff and Clovis Police Department Explosive Ordnance Disposal Teams, or EOD as they're called, went to King's home located on the 37,000 block of Squaw Valley Road. The extra resources were due to detectives learning that King may be in possession of explosives. The SWAT team was able to get King to come out of his home willingly, and they took him into custody. A search warrant was then executed to perform a further search of the property. Deputies found chemicals commonly used for making explosives, and the EOD teams safely collected and disposed of those materials. Detectives considered King to be a person of interest in the disappearance of Lee and Shelest, so they looked for evidence tied to that investigation, but nothing was found. King was booked into the Fresno County Jail for the shooting and for possession of explosive materials. On January 13, 2018, King bailed out of jail. King reported to court on February 20th of 2019, where the judge ordered him to be taken back into custody. He has remained in jail since that day. In March, detectives developed new information that pointed to Lee and Shelest being buried on King's property. On March 20th, a search warrant was served. Detectives, members of the Fresno Sheriff's Crime Scene Unit, and heavy equipment operators with Fresno County Public Works began to dig into the land located behind King's home to look for human remains. On the 6th straight day of digging, detectives uncovered bones believed to be those of Aleksey Shelest. Digging continued through April 4th, but no other remains were found. Weeks later, detectives developed more new information. This included a more precise location where Donnie Lee might be buried. Additional information also surfaced that King may have buried the body of Alberto Contreras on some land along the 16,000 block of Avenue 264 in Visalia. On April 26, detectives returned to the property in Squaw Valley with a search warrant to conduct more digging. Meanwhile, Fresno Sheriff's Office detectives joined with detectives from the Visalia Police Department and the Tulare County Sheriff's Office. Together, they worked with heavy equipment operators from Tulare County and the city of Visalia. They served a search warrant and began to dig on the property off of Avenue 264 in Visalia. On April 27th, crews found human remains at both the Squaw Valley and Visalia locations. All of the remains were submitted to the California Department of Justice for DNA analysis. The results showed positive identifications for Alberto Contreras, Donnie Lee, and Aleksey Shelest. We would like to thank the following agencies and individuals for their assistance in this lengthy investigation: the Fresno County and Tulare County District Attorney's Offices, the Tulare County Sheriff's Office, the Visalia Police Department, forensic anthropologist Dr. Roger Lajeunesse, and the Public Works Departments of Tulare County, the City of Visalia, and Fresno County. And a special thanks to Jason Slevin, Tim Howard, Ben Leonard, Heath Preheim, and Brian Blanton. These equipment operators combined for more than 700 hours of digging. This remains an ongoing investigation. Anyone with additional information about Buford King is asked to please contact Detective Jose Diaz at area code 559-600-8204 or Crime Stoppers at 559-498-7867 or their website www.valleycrimestoppers.org. You will remain anonymous and you may be eligible for a cash reward. And at this time, I'd like to invite Jessica Brumley to come forward and say a few words.
I just want to say that it's been a long road. I want to thank the Fresno County Sheriff's Department, Detective Diaz, for not giving up and persevering no matter what roadblocks they hit in this. My dad was a good man. He was a hardworking man, and it's sad that he had to meet such circumstances. But we've prayed for a long time for closure and for justice to be served, and our God answers prayers. So just thank you guys.
Thank you, and I'm available to answer any questions you might have.
It said acquaintances. What kind of relationship did these men have with King?
He was familiar with them. Would you call them friends?
I would say he was acquaintances of Mr. Shelest and Mr. Contreras. He was a friend of Mr. Lee.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the men, there were reports that possibly he lived on King's property. I believe is that something that's true about Shelest at least?
Was it Shelest?
Mr. Lee lived on.
Mr. Lee lived on Buford King's property in the back in a trailer.
How long was that for?
I don't know.
Several months.
Several months he lived there.
Did you know how they died?
The deaths were ruled by the coroner's office as homicides.
So we don't know yet whether they were shot or...
We have that information, but we're not releasing it yet, just that the coroner's office has ruled them as homicides. Yes, ma'am.
What pointed you guys to start digging on the property? I know it says in the press release that there was some information that came out that pointed that direction. What was that?
That's correct. We did get additional information, new information from a source that we're not going to talk about just yet. This is an ongoing investigation. That source and that information will most likely come out at trial.
Was King at all cooperative in this?
Yes, Mr. King has been cooperative with detectives through this investigation.
So did he tell you where the bodies might be buried?
I'm not going to say. He gave us some information, but we developed other information that corroborated.
Do you guys believe that there are other
That is a definite possibility that there are other victims. This investigation is still going, and we're looking into that.
What makes you think that?
Can't say.
Would you say that Mr. King's behavior may be related to PTSD from serving overseas?
That I do not know that. I don't have any information from his military record.
With the first man that was killed, do we know if that was within Fresno County or was that down in the South Valley?
The first person killed, we believe, was in the South Valley, and Visalia Chief is here if you have a question for him.
And the property that you found that body at, did that belong to King, or what was the connection to him?
We believe that he lived there at the time that the body was buried there.
And so thinking there might be additional victims, is this kind of why you want folks that may have known of Buford King or know of people that were associated with him?
Yes,
Give you guys some
absolutely.
information?
If there are additional victims and there's anybody out there who has information on Mr. King, we'd appreciate knowing that.
Was it the same source that said for the additional information on King's property in Squaw Valley to point to Visalia?
I don't know the answer to that. Yes, it was.
And also, I mean, he was released from jail but then ordered back. What exactly happened in between that time?
He was able to bond out, so he paid his bail, and the judge remanded him into custody approximately a year later. I think there was an issue of payment of that bail at that point.
These men going missing, in 2011 and then not till 2017 that it seemed like it started pointing to King. Was there no mention of him before?
Not that we are aware of, no.
What took so long, I guess?
For
Just
what?
the fact that these people went missing in 2011 and then not knowing or even starting to point to where they could be until 2017.
We handled them as normal missing person cases. The one from 2011 was the one that happened in Visalia. He was reported 6 months after he went missing. He was reported missing, and just no new information became available. So detectives worked those cases as much as possible, but without more leads, they weren't able to continue.
Does King have much of a criminal history?
That I don't know. It's
Not much.
minimal.
Do you know who reported Contreras missing?
His sister.
Do you want
He was reported missing in July of 2011 by his sister. He had last been seen in Visalia in January of 2011. But no suspicious circumstances were indicated or reported at the time he was reported missing. However, we have treated as an active investigation since that time, developing any new information. Unfortunately, until this event, we hadn't developed anything further.
But Buford King was living down there at that time when he went missing?
We know that Buford King resided at the residence on Avenue 264 between the years 2009 to 2011.
Question for Jessica, if you could, so we can record you on there. I see you and your family, you have the t-shirts on. Just wondering if you could share with us a little bit about your dad, what kind of person he was.
We weren't very close at the end, but, he was a good man. He made some bad choices throughout his life. I think that's probably what led him to being around that kind of person. So, that's all.
It says justice.
Yeah.
I mean, people make bad choices, but they
Nobody
still have
deserves,
justice,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I don't know what to really say. Sorry.
You're off the hook, thank you.
Jessica, just talking about hearing about, the remains being found, was it almost a little bit of a relief to now know that what had happened?
Yeah, definitely. We've heard so many stories of what had happened. And in the back of our mind, we've always kind of known what happened or who was involved. But now that we know for sure what's happened and we're able to recover remains and have a funeral, so it's a lot of closure for us.
Can
that we didn't think we were ever going to get.
So I was gonna ask if you can talk about the moment you got the phone call that his remains were found.
I just was told this morning, so.
Do you know how your dad knew King, or did he ever talk about that?
I believe my dad was renting a trailer on his property.
Is there a message you want to send to the community of Squaw Valley now that this is getting wrapped up?
Just that I know that over the years there's been a lot of rumors and a lot of conversation in the community of Squaw Valley about these cases, and there was a lot of stories going around, and I just want the community of Squaw Valley, we feel we have the person responsible for these deaths. We have him in custody, won't be getting out anytime soon.
Can I just ask one more question now? I mean, this has been a long investigation, getting to the point where it seems like more things are coming in the clear, and more things are coming up. Do you feel like it will lead to more stuff in the future? And just knowing that you have some stuff answered.
There's certainly potential for that. Detectives have been working hard on these cases. Maybe now they're going to be able to spend more time on potential other cases, and there may be more information coming forward.
I just have one more. Is there
Yes.
other places he lives that you guys are potentially looking at to see if there are any other victims?
Not that I'm aware of. No. Anything else? All right, thank you.